So let's talk about the Ford Crown Victoria. The Ford Crown Victoria is a world-renowned car. It's sold all over the world. People love these cars. They're smooth, they're fast, they're comfortable, and they're reliable. The question is, a lot of people don't know where to get them. And if they do get them, they wind up overpaying. So here's the secret with the Ford Crown Victoria. If you're looking for a P71 Crown Victoria, you're definitely going to want to buy one from an auction, such as municipality, police, state trooper, and so forth. You go directly to the horse's mouth to buy the vehicle. Therefore, you eliminate the middleman and you save the most money. As soon as it's listed for sale on eBay, buyers all over the country are going to want to compete to buy a P71 Crown Vic. The less people that know about the auction from the municipality, the better deal you're going to get. So try and find a local municipality selling Ford Crown Victorias and participate in their local auction. That's going to be the best deal for you. Now, how can you tell if it's a police car? Well, if you read the VIN, designated within the VIN, you'll have the sequence P71. That means it's got the police interceptor package. Usually, slightly different suspension, Kevlar inserts in the door, Kevlar inserts in the back seat, fire suppression system, special radiator hoses which allow for higher engine temperature, maybe different shift points in the transmission. Engine computer could be updated or different. So yeah, it's a totally different car. Factory tinted windows, spotlight, different alternator for a high output computer, and again, the car handles totally differently than a conventional Crown Victoria. Now, I personally like the way a conventional Crown Victoria handles, but I happen to get a very, very good deal on a cop car. So, this is a 2011 Ford Crown Victoria P71, and it's got 117,000 miles on it. And I did have to do some work on the car, but I only paid $2,200 from govdeals.com. I participated in an auction that was held in Massachusetts. I won the bid, and I hired a truck driver to take the car to me because I didn't feel like driving 5 hours away. Upon arrival of the vehicle, the engine was running rough at it because it had been decommissioned for some period of time. It just needed a basic tune-up and spark plugs. I changed the right side valve cover gasket. I didn't change the left because it wasn't leaking. But one of the problems is the oil from the valve covers leak into the spark plugs and fouls out the spark plug. So keep an eye out for that when you go look for your Crown Victoria. Otherwise, they do have a lot of power. Differences between the Crown Victoria 2011 and the preceding models is that the window regulators and the window switches have been updated. I guess this is a common problem. Could you imagine owning a cop car for 10 years? How many times the police officer lowered and raised this window? A lot, okay? So these windows go through a lot of abuse and use, and cops are literally sitting with these engines idling and they're constantly raising and lowering the window. In 2011, Ford made an update on the window regulator to make it so it's less prone to failure. So if you're going to get one, expect that the window regulator on the driver's side might go bad. If you get lucky, if you find one that's not so worn out, try and grab it. You may get lucky. Adjustable foot pedals, so you can raise and lower the brake pedal, where it sits, as far as your driver comfort, overdrive control on and off, and just your basic functions. This is very, very basic, guys. So as far as 2011 is concerned, this is actually very low technology, okay? AM, FM radio, tune dial, a couple presets, blower control, dashboard vent. Literally, that's it. There's nothing to this car. It'd be very, very basic. Wipers, there's no touchscreen, no information center, nothing. Now, we're going back 2011. This stuff did exist, but again, they just didn't want them in the Crown Victorias because it's a raw, classic American car that does not have any of these kind of features. Not to say it's not safe, it does have safety features, such as I mentioned, updated suspension, Kevlar inserted doors, fire suppression system. Those are inputted in the P71, but it just doesn't have the other technology as far as touchscreen, what have you. So the 2011 Crown Victoria does have 17-inch wheels. So Ford designed the car in the event of a pursuit that you can literally drive directly over a conventional Belgian block curb. If a guy that you were chasing was driving a Ford F-150 or a Chevy Suburban, whatever, he drives over the curb, he looks in his rearview mirror and says, well, I think I lost him. He's in a Crown Victoria. He's never going to make it over the curb. Guess what? You guessed wrong. The Crown Victoria is designed by Ford to be able to drive straight over a curb. Nothing scrapes. You will drive straight over the curb and you will catch the bad guy. And another thing that I wanted to note about the Crown Victoria is that the fuel mileage is exceptional. Considering this car weighs 4,700 pounds, the fuel mileage for a vehicle of this caliber is very good. So you're averaging around town around 20 miles to the gallon. And on the highway, it's not unheard of for a Crown Victoria to get 26, 28 miles to the gallon because, again, it's all about gearing. The transmission continuously shifts to the proper gear and the engine's just singing along. It's really not straining itself, guys. So keep that in mind when you go to buy a new car. Obviously the numbers look good, but considering what you're gonna pay for a 2011 Crown Vic, the numbers look even better. I'm going to show you the state vehicle auction at which we've participated at before. So you just type in NJ state vehicle auction and it comes right up. And it's going to show you details on auction vehicles and surplus property. So this is a little bit about the auction. It's located at 1620 Stuyvesant Avenue, Trenton, New Jersey. And you want to go down and it should show upcoming auctions. This was today's auction. So we're just going to look at what today's auction was. And this is a website ran by the state. So it's very legitimate. So you've got Chevy Tahoes, Uplanders, Malibus, Ford Fusion, Dodge Caravan, Dodge Stratus. Okay, so these are the years. 09, 11, 12, 12, 10, 12, 7, 5. So these are relatively current vehicles and they're selling at a fairly affordable price. This is the July auction. Okay, this is what they had sold for. Obviously today's prices wasn't updated. So a four-door Impala from 2012 sold for $4,300. A 2011 Ford Crown Victoria sold for $2,000. That's a very good deal. Wow. To give you another example, a 2009 Ford Crown Victoria sold for $1,800. Excellent. Here's another Crown Victoria. A 2011 Ford Crown Victoria sold for $1,900. So again, guys, there's good deals out there on these vehicles. You just have to do some research. You have to make sure that you're not buying from a third-party person who's going to spit and polish on the car, mark it up, and make a fortune because you can't figure out where to buy the car from. Okay, guys, so if you do decide to participate in the state vehicle auction, now this is pertaining particularly to New Jersey, but there are other states that operate in the same fashion. So keep a lookout for DOT-specific auctions, PennDOT, what have you. Your own state probably has their own terms and conditions for different sales, when the auctions are and how they conduct them. So the way the state of New Jersey operates this auction is they post a sale date as to when the auction will be held. Now, they give you a day or two in advance to show up, and you can basically apply to look at a vehicle. So the way it works is they're all parked in a community parking spot. You walk in, it's open to the public. In order to get a key to a car, you have to surrender your driver's license in return. This prevents people from taking the key and walking away. So you're accountable for it because you have to go back to get your driver's license, that which you submitted in order to get the key in the first place. So anyway, you can pull 5 keys. Once you pull the key, you can pick out basically whatever vehicle you want. Let's say you want to look at 3 Crown Victorias and 2 F-150s. You give them the car number, okay? Car 1, car 2, car 3, and so on. And then they give you the keys. Now, do your research. Walk around everything, take a look, turn the headlights on, check for check engine lights, what have you. Now, you're going to need to do a lot of thinking on this because the next day will be the auction. And believe me, the auction is fast. So the auction gate officially opens at 9. You want to be there at 7 because you want to get in line and everybody else is scrambling looking at vehicles. Meanwhile, you've already done your research. Okay, you're only interested in 1, 5, 3, 10, and so forth. Okay, so you get in line. The line does get very lengthy. So there is a chance if you're at the back of the line, by the time you get in line around 7, the auction starts, say, at 9, you may not even get through the line to get a bidder number to be able to participate in the auction. So you need to ensure, basically, when the gates first open up, you're one of the first 20 people to get in line to get a bidder number. Now, once you have your bidder number, that's your ticket to buy. You cannot buy a vehicle without a bidder number. Okay. In order to get a bidder number, all you need to do is submit your driver's license. That's it. And they ask you to put a deposit down. I don't usually do that because if I wind up not buying anything, I don't want to get back in the line to stand there to get my $150 deposit back. Okay. So when I buy something, then I'll give you the money. I'm not going to leave a deposit senselessly. That's just my opinion. Okay. So then at 9 a.m., the auctioneer makes an announcement. He says, okay, guys, we're going to start auctioning all these cars off in numerical order from 1 through 100. Let's say there's 100 cars, and you got to be ready because they have to get through 100 cars by, say, 11:30 in the afternoon, and they're going to be moving very quickly. You do not have time once the auction starts to start walking around vehicles, inspections, maybe make sure the air conditioning is working. You have to do all that research prior to that. Now, when you're bidding on a vehicle that you want to buy, you want to make sure that you're heard and your voice is known. So put your bidder number up high. Don't let others push you around. You don't want to be all the way in the back trying to buy a car that's up front. Okay, guys, make sure you get in there, pay attention, look at the auctioneer, say something, say, yo, right here. Make sure he knows that you're a buyer of that car. Then, hopefully, ideally, you're the only bidder. That's the way you want, as a buyer, that's the way you want it to happen. If there's other people trying to buy against you, you need to pay attention to the numbers because the numbers may not be totally clear. So let's say you wanted to pay $1,200 for a car. The other guy might have bid $1,500. So your next interval would inadvertently be $1,600. You didn't know that guy bid up another $300 when in reality, it's just supposed to go up another $100 here and there. So you have to be very careful as to what you're paying for and what the interval is that someone hiked it up to. Okay, so just make sure that you don't overpay for a vehicle by accident because someone shouted a higher number than what it's supposed to be. Usually it just goes up in $100 intervals. That's the way it's supposed to work. It's very competitive. It's very fast. Most cars have 4 or 5 buyers per vehicle, at least. I've seen some where 10 people are actively bidding. So guys, it's fast paced, pay attention, and show up on time. That's my best recommendation. Happy bidding. Also, so one last section that I did want to talk about was that at the end of the auction, okay, when you're talking about auctioning off 100 cars, people who are showing up to buy a vehicle, they're committed to going there and buying a vehicle. They do not want to walk away empty-handed. It's human nature. People show up for a reason. They want to buy a car. At the last 20 cars or so, the prices jump way up because people are scrambling, they're getting nervous, they're calling someone on the phone, hey, what would you pay for this? How much is this worth to you? Let's bid this up. I need a car today. Come on, I got to get back on the road. Let's go. And I've seen outrageous prices at the end. Almost double in value.
towards the end of the auction than what vehicles comparable to which are selling at the beginning of the auction. So get in there and get a car within the first 10. You're going to want to buy within the first 10 because at the end, you got the competition of a lifetime. Everybody is showing up. Their intent is to buy, okay? They have a little bit of a tendency to hold back and wait and see how things unfold in the beginning. That's your opportunity as a buyer to buy. You're going to get the best deal at the beginning of the auction. Do not wait for the end to hope to hold out on a specific vehicle. Guess what? If the vehicle that you want to buy is car number 95, good luck, because it is going to be very expensive. Tensions are high. People do not want to leave with the auction closing and they're going home with nothing. Again, people, please buy it early, buy it quick, and buy diligently. Okay, guys, so as I was discussing, you want to make sure that you're buying from an actual municipality. You don't want to buy from eBay or Craigslist secondhand. Okay, so look, I'm going to show you what you have to do here. So you make an account with GovDeals, you sign in as a buyer or register if you're new to it. You click on automobiles. Right, now these are all a variety of many different automobiles, so you want to refine your searches a little bit more than that. Okay, so at the top you're going to search under automobiles, which is the category. You're going to type in directly Crown Victoria, and it comes up with basically every Crown Victoria available for sale in the country. And as you can see, they're all varying in location, years, specifications. And I'll just click on a random one. This is a 05 Ford Crown Victoria LX. Wow, it's a pretty nice car. 4 days and 22 hours remaining. And as you can see here, the auction is just above $2,000. So obviously it's going to climb as the auction gets closer to closing. So here's the description. 2005 Ford Crown Victoria LX sedan, 4.6 V8. Former police vehicle, running when parked. May need a boost to start. Alright, so it probably needs a battery, but it's located in Georgia. Relatively rust-free down in Georgia. And I'll just show you some quick pictures so you can get an idea of what you'll be buying. Front, back, side. That's actually a very nice car. That's a very nice example of a clean Ford Crown Victoria. So again, you're going to want to buy directly from the municipality or government agency that which owns the vehicle. You do not want to buy it from a used car lot or a dealership or some random guy on Facebook. Obviously, you're not going to get the best deal. When you're driving a Crown Vic, you're the king of the road, because guys know you mean business. When you're in a Crown Vic, it's all business.